Hi there, welcome to this video. So I'm going to be showing you today how to key in your very own search campaign on Google Ads. Now, whether you specialize in, PI or DUIs, family, immigration, whatever it might be, you'll be able to kind of follow this step-by-step guide on how you can set up your campaign to ensure you get the best results as soon as you start. Okay, so obviously you want to open up your Google Ad account here. First thing you want to do is create campaign, and then it's asking us to select a campaign objective. So we just want to start it off with no goals guidance. This will give us the most flexibility, which is something that we want. And then there's a bunch of different campaign types here. Obviously, we want to have a search campaign. So basically, when people search on Google, we want to appear at the top, essentially, the first few options. And also as well, select the results. Okay, so we can just, we're going to be sending them to our website. So since this is just an example, I'll put our website down on here for our marketing services, and then we'll click on continue. Okay, we'll let this load. Now it's going to ask us to select some conversion actions. We don't have any conversion actions set up at the moment. I'll be making another video to show you how to do that. For now, we can just click on page view. We'll set that up another time. Okay, so name the campaign. What we typically do is I'll name this marketing service law, and I normally like to put the date on there as well. Okay. Just name it something that obviously you can easily recognize what campaign it is and what you guys are doing. Okay, we can have turn on enhanced conversions here. Everything looks good, and then we agree and continue. All right, so next we have the bidding strategy. Now there's a bunch of different bid strategies that you can go for. Now what we typically do is we always start campaigns with manual CPC, so manual clicks. We get to set the bids, we have the most control this way. Now if you have an account that doesn't have a lot of history, a lot of conversion history, you do want to start on manual CPC or maybe even enhanced CPC as well. All enhanced CPC is it gives, even though you control the bids, it does give Google, it allows Google to sometimes go above your bid if it feels like that person may convert. Okay, so it's almost like a mix between having Google do some of the work and also you doing some of the work as well. We kind of always go for manual CPC regardless. Even when we do start getting conversions, we always stick to manual CPC because we want to have the most control. Now, if you do have some conversion history, you can start the campaign with maximize conversions. We personally don't do this, but again, it's up to you, okay? So now the funny thing is Google doesn't want really, I can't really say want, but Google wants to incentivize people to allow them to kind of do a bunch of the work for them. So you won't see manual CPC here, but once we set up the campaign, I'll show you how to kind of set that up. So for now, we'll just go on clicks. So this is basically maximize clicks, set a minimum cost per click bid amount. Let's have a look. So let's say I put $10 or £10. Okay. So bid for new customers only. So we don't really want to do this. We want to bid equally for new customers and people that are, have constantly been searching as well. Okay, so we just click on next. Now, we can also run the campaign to Google search networks and Google's display network. We don't really want to do this. So the thing is, we want to put our ads in front of people that desperately need the service, okay? And Google search network is basically showing up on like Google partner sites. And that's someone being on a website that's attached to Google or that's a partner site with Google and your ad being there. They've not really searched for it, right? And display network. So again, we don't want to show on unless people have searched for it on Google search, we don't want to show up for that. Now, there is some instances when you want to do this, but for the most part, 99% of the time, it's not efficient, okay? So there you go. All right. Now, where do we want to show our ads? Now, we want to show our ads so for this campaign, let's have the whole of the US. Let's see, include. Okay. Now, this is really important here. We want people that actually have a presence in the location, not just like a presence or an interest. Because if someone anywhere in the world is interested in you in the US, which is obviously most of the world, it's going to pretty much show worldwide, right? So we just want people that have a presence in the US, okay? That's kind of who we want to target, essentially. So you can do whether it's your state, whether it's your city, whether it's your county, if you're in the UK or anywhere else in the world, like just put the location, but always put it for presence, okay? Language, we just want to run in English. Obviously, you can select the languages you want or the language you want. Now, audience segments, this is something that we'll cover in a different video, so we'll just kind of leave this for now. Let's have a look. We can ignore this. Okay, now we click on more settings here. Now for ad rotation. Now what we typically like to do is, because we A/B test ads within our ad groups, we always want to rotate ads indefinitely. But if you want to kind of get results as quickly as possible, as soon as possible, and you don't really care about doing too many tests, you can just tell Google to optimize for the best ads. Okay, so let's say you have 3 or 2 ad groups, ads within an ad group. Google can very quickly determine, okay, this ad is the best, so we'll always serve this ad, right? But then if you want to test things, you can rotate, and obviously because we like to test, we rotate. But if you just want to set it up and you tell Google, okay, give me the best results possible with what I've given you, then you can just, most people will just use this, okay? Is there anything else here? Now, you can either, typically, I like to set up the campaign for the very next day. You can just do it for the same day as well if you want to. Okay, that all looks good. And then we just don't have an end date. Now, schedule. Now, with your schedule, you want to think, when do I want to start potentially getting leads come in? Now, typically what we do is we start the ads from about 7 in the morning to about 9 in the evening. Obviously, it depends on the client, and we run it Monday to Friday. Sometimes we run it the whole week. It depends, obviously, when the client wants to take calls or has availability to to have a lead come in. Because what you don't want is a lead to come in and that lead doesn't get addressed till the very next day. Okay, because as you know, with people searching on Google, if they submit an inquiry and you don't get back to them in time, regardless of what you do, they will go to other options. And typically, whoever responds first is typically the person that is most likely to convert that lead. Okay, so again, if you know that you're not going to be able to take leads after 5, then don't run it after 5. But if you know that actually you can do, then you can. So we'll typically go from either 6, 7 a.m. So I'll just put 7 a.m. here. And then we'll take it to 9 a.m. And we typically do it Monday to Friday. Okay? We don't need to add anymore. All right. Let's have a look. Okay, everything else you can pretty much ignore. Right, click on next. Okay, so let's have a look. So keywords. Okay, I think this one says, yeah, so Google is getting to a point where it's literally wanting to do every single thing for you. Now, I don't like that so much, so we'll just skip this, but for the sake of the video, let's see what it does for us. I'll click on generate. So it's giving us some keywords here based on what it scanned on the website, and it's going to make some ads for us. Okay, so let's go to the very top. So the first thing obviously is keywords, right? Now, within an ad, you have keywords that you bid for, okay? And then you have separate ad groups, okay? And every ad group has ads within the ad group and it has keywords, right? What we typically like to do is we only like to have one keyword per ad group, okay? One keyword per ad group. So the first thing we'll do here, so we have a bunch of different keywords. So we'll do, the first one we'll go for is law firm marketing agency. Okay, law firm marketing agency. So that's the keyword. Now, there's three different types of keywords you can have. You can have a broad match, a phrase match, and an exact match. So that does, I'm hoping that sounds pretty self-explanatory. So an exact match is your ad will only show pretty much if someone searches exactly what that keyword is. So it would be law firm marketing agency. If someone searches exactly for that, your ad is going to be in the auction to show, essentially. If it's a phrase match, it will show for something similar to it. So instead of law firm marketing agency, you might still show for like attorney marketing agency because it's a phrase that's pretty much similar. Okay. Now, a broad match would be something that is even broader than phrase. Okay. So law firm marketing agency, you might show for like legal advertising firm. That actually might be a phrase match. You might show for something like legal advertising or like advertising business, right? So that's more broad, okay? Now, Google has gotten better with its broad match. You can still get conversions with broad match, but again, we like to be as efficient as possible. So when we start the campaign, we go for one keyword, but we only start with exact match and phrase match. And we never really change that unless we get to a point where we've exhausted the market, and then we can start trialing out broad match. But again, rarely do we ever do broad match. Okay, right. So now I'm actually creating the ad itself. Again, Google wants us to kind of what you want to do if you want to have the best like ad rank, and yeah, if you want to have the best ad rank and stuff like that, you want to kind of use up all the options that Google gives you. Okay, so we want to now you want to be careful. Like, where do you want to send the person clicking on the ad? What part of your website do you want to send them? Because this is our homepage, right? But then you can also have dedicated pages to each ad group, to each ad. Okay. So you want to just double check the URL to make sure this is definitely where you want to send that person. Okay. And then the display paths, you have two options here. So this is what the person will see when they, when they search. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so if I do law marketing, I do marketing law, obviously something different each time. So either be this one or this one that shows up. Okay. All right. So we have one keyword and now we have to make a bunch of different headlines. Google's already given me some options. Now I'm just gonna add. Yeah, I wouldn't over rely on Google's options because most people will be using Google for what they do, right? And you're not going to get to stand out as much as maybe you want to. Okay. Even though it is based on obviously the content on your website, again, you want to go through it, make sure you're happy, take out the ones you're not happy with. So I'm just going to speed run this and kind of just change the headlines. You want to also use the descriptions as well. So Google will only really ever show either 2 headlines or 3 headlines. Okay, so if I just run through this, yeah, you can see. And then it will either only have, I believe, either 1 description or 2 descriptions like together. So it will mix and match them basically. But just bear with me and I'll fill this all out for us, okay? All right, so we've got all our headlines here. And then we've also got the descriptions here as well. Okay. So you can see it's much more, I pretty much changed all the headlines that Google gave me. Again, I wouldn't over rely on the Google AI to give you the best stuff. Okay. You want to see if you can do something that you can provide better than what they can. Again, this is something that you can test. Okay. So within each ad group, you should really have at least 2 ads, and then you can run tests and see which headlines are performing best for you. Now, there's a few other types of headlines that you can have. So the first type of headline or different type of headline is a keyword insertion. So if I just do this and then I click on keyword insertion. So what you can do is if you want one of your headlines to be exactly what the person has searched, because people can search variations of this keyword here. Okay. And obviously people do kind of like to see exactly what they've searched, okay? So if let's say, I'll just copy this. In fact, no, I'll copy this. Okay. I'll just put lawyer. And I normally like to go on a title case. It just means that the first letter of each word is capitalized. Okay, so if someone searches anything that triggers my ad and Google serves this ad, then what they've searched will actually appear as a headline, okay, which makes your ad look even more relevant. Now, you want to be careful with using this at the start of your campaign, because when you first start a campaign, you'll notice that you start coming up for a bunch of different things that maybe you don't necessarily want to come up for. Okay, you might even come up for competitors as well. So for example, if I search for a competitor and I see the competitor name or what I've searched in your ad, I might click it, and then when I go on there, I'll realize, oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing, and then I'll bounce off and it's a wasted click. So you only really want to start experimenting with this once, 2, 3 months down the line, once your campaign is become more and more efficient and the searches you're getting are the searches that you want. Okay, so I just wanted to show you as an example. And if Google serves this ad and it's not, how can I put this? This is the default text that will appear, essentially. So if Google serves this ad for whatever reason and it doesn't show the search that that person has searched, this is the default thing that will appear, which is obviously relevant. Okay, right, so let me try a different thing here. Okay, next we have countdown. Now, for your law firm, this isn't really going to be relevant. I don't think this is a thing that can work for law firms, but you might be able to make it work. So if you have, like, obviously this is for other services, right, or businesses. So if you have like a service-based business and you have a countdown for a particular sale or something, you can have a countdown thing here as well. Now, location is, I think, is a huge one, especially obviously if you serve different states or you serve different cities within a state. So let's say we put here marketing. No, sorry. So the keyword will be marketing agency or marketing agency city, right? And then we want to put a default here in case, let's say, we don't have that person city for whatever reason. So marketing agency near me. Okay, and then we'll click on apply. This is just to show the person that you can service their area, essentially. Okay, obviously only do this if you can service their area. So I'll do marketing. I'll see if I can squeeze in law firm, marketing agency. Okay, so law marketing agency near me. Okay, so this is a good one that you can use as well. Okay, and I think that's all the relevant things to do with that. And now with the descriptions, you can pretty much do the same thing as well. You can see that I've done it here as well. Okay. Now, you want to add your business name and business logo. Again, it just makes you stand out. Now, because this is a testing account, we don't yet have access. You do have to have some ad spend already with Google, and you have to have completed your advertiser verification as well. Okay. Now, site links, you want to use site links. So site links are basically these things here, right? And they can go to different parts of your website or of your landing page. Now, you do want to definitely use these, but you want to make sure that you're sending them to areas of your website that the aim is to convert them. Okay, whether it's like book a consultation call now and it goes to the consultation section, whether it's like, find out exactly how we help you, like, showing them a step by step of what you do and how you help. Again, make sure it's not just any random section of your website. It's going to be a section that will essentially lead them to converting. Now, because we use the Google AI, we've got a bunch of different things here. So I would again go in here and change this. Okay. You can also use callouts as well. So callouts are just things that will appear like just below the description. So it can be like, let's see, 100% status. Okay, can be. Okay, this is too long. This is also too long. How can we change it? You can basically see the call outs here. Okay, obviously it has to be 25 characters or less. But again, this is something that you want to add. You want to add as many as possible, okay? The more you kind of fill out everything Google is giving you, typically the higher your ad rank. So you want to just fill out as many as possible. I think there's 15 altogether, maybe even 20. Yeah, it's quite a lot. Well, even more than 20. No, 20. Okay, perfect. So we want to do that. Now, another thing we want to do, we want to also add your phone number as well. So we want to add that. Okay, call some ads. The conversion action I selected is call from ad, which is a pretty straightforward one to have set up. Now you also want to use structured snippet as well. So structured snippet, it can be like, you know, the breakdown of the service areas you deal or practice areas you deal with within your specialty. So if I scroll down to say service catalog, I can do here ads management. I can do sales training. I'm not gonna landing pages. Okay, so you can do all your different services. So I mean, if it's PI, so there's a bunch of different practice areas within PI, and there's quite a lot you can do here. So again, I'll just add all those in as much as possible. All right, so create, save. Okay, I wouldn't really do lead forms because if it's going to be a lead form, we want them to kind of go on the landing page, make sure they're happy, check that out, and then fill out the lead form. So we don't need to do apps. So the ones you want to do structure snippet, calls, pricing. Again, if it's slow, you're not really going to have the pricing, and I wouldn't really have the pricing, even if you take payments up front. I wouldn't really have the pricing. I wouldn't really encourage it. It's up to you, obviously, because we want to build people's interest and intrigue, and for them to even find out the price, that might push them to actually get in contact with you. Obviously, you sell your services, and if they're happy, you can make a close from there. Promotions, again, I don't know if this is relevant for lawyers. Call outs, didn't we add our call outs? Okay, 15 cases. Forgot to click on save. Obviously, you want to fill it out as much as possible, and you want to have your site links as well. Okay, now with site links, one thing I want to say is, okay, so it's actually picked it up. Now, if you're going to do it manually, you need to know the different sections within your. So if you want to send people to a section of your landing page, you need to know what the different sections are. So I'll see if I can show you what I mean in a simple way here. Okay, let me do this. So I'm right clicking and I'm clicking on inspect. Okay, I'm supposed to keep this simple, but we'll see if I can explain this simply. So we need to know what, in fact, let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Let's find a different section. Okay. Okay, perfect. So this section, you can see it says div this on this left side section, and it has dash, and then it has all this. So we want to copy that. More. It ends in 1 second. I believe this is this. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can't copy it. We normally do this from when we're building the landing page. You can also get it within like your landing page builder. But I'm seeing if I can do it here. Okay. Can I copy the whole thing? I don't really want to do that. Okay, it looks like I have to copy the whole thing, but let me see if I can break this down. Okay, so we only want the bit that it says, gives us this section. Okay, so what you would then do is you'd come back here, you'd give the pound sign or the hash sign, and then you paste. Okay, now this, let's see if this works, should take us to exactly, okay, yeah. So it takes us to exactly the part of the landing page that we want to show up for. All right, I hope that makes sense. And then we save. So again, you want to have people go to an exact place. Okay, hope that makes sense, but I hope I've not overcomplicated that. Right, so let's run through it one more time. So we've got our keyword, phrase match, exact match. We've got the exact place we want, the landing page we want to send people to. We've got the URL extension here, or the display path, shall I say. And then we've got all our different headlines, right? We've got our 4 different descriptions. Again, add the business name and logos. You'll be able to add this once you complete advertiser verification. You have to have some spend normally before you can complete that. Have your site links. Again, go to specific places on your landing page that is built to convert people. Okay, callouts, and then we want to have our call extension and structure snippet. Those are the key things that you would need for, if you're an attorney. Any other kind of service areas you might want to consider, obviously having your, if you have transparent pricing, having that, and having your, if you have any promotions, having that as well. Excuse me. Okay, we'll click on next. Okay, so budget. So it's recommending a daily budget of $24, obviously £24. So, if you have £1,000 budget, you can just divide that by the working days in a month, which is normally about 22, 23 working days. And then you can have whatever amount that comes to. Okay, so next. Okay, all of this looks good. Obviously, bear in mind we've not set up conversion tracking. We'll do that on a separate video. All looks good to me, I think. Let's see if we can publish. Okay. Okay, so he actually wants us to set up conversion tracking. Oh gosh, can we skip this? No, it's not going to connect to this. Yeah, I'll do this later. Okay, so if we go to campaigns here, You can see that our campaign is set up. It can take a day or so for you to start getting impressions. I think we set it to start from tomorrow anyway. Now, if we go to ads here, so we can see our ad group. We can name this. So I normally name this the name of the keyword. So I think it was law firm marketing agency. And then we go to ads. We've got one ad here. Now we want to make a separate ad. Okay, so we normally want to have two ads within each ad group. So it would take all the information from the existing ad, and obviously what you can just do is we normally just change all the ads here. Okay. Now you do want to typically use all 15 ads to give, for Google to kind of give you the best ad rank. We don't always kind of follow this rule. So if we want to test a different ad, we'll sometimes only test, let's say, 6 or 7 headlines that we think are really, really good. And then we'll see if those 6 can beat the other 15. Okay. When you're starting out, you want to just, have a broad net essentially. So you want to have 15 different headlines. Now, the ones you want to keep consistent, obviously, we actually have the keyword as a headline as well. Obviously, that needs to remain consistent. Okay. Another thing I forgot to say, extensions wise, when you're verified, you can also have image extensions where images will show on your ad. The reason why you kind of want this is because you want your ad to take up as much real estate as possible when people are searching. So if we can have a big image on there as well, again, people are more likely to notice it and click it. Okay. All right. So I'll just save that, even though it's exactly the same thing. Okay. Right. Okay, it's under reviews. That's why it's not eligible. So if I go to overview, yeah. So it's just taking it. Well, it's not even set up to start yet. Right. So that is pretty much everything. Now, some other things we kind of like to do is we never really show our ads on, where is it? Google has a new layout and I'm only used to the old layout, so I need to find what I'm looking for. Where ads are shown, I think it's here. Yeah, devices. So we only show our ads on mobile and to PC. We've noticed that conversion rates are terrible with tablets, so we don't show on tablet. Again, this is something that you can test out, but if you want it to set up exactly the same way we do it, this is what we do. So bid adjustment, we reduce this to 90% for just tablets. Okay, we only want to show for the 2 best converting areas, which is for us is computers and mobile. Another thing we want to do is go to our bidding strategy because we want to use manual clicks. So where settings. Wait, campaign, it's not there. Okay, campaign settings. And then we scroll down to here. So we don't want to use maximize clicks. We want to use manual CPC. And so, okay, you click on, wait, let me just do that again because they like to hide this. So you click on it and then you click on change bid strategy. And then you click here, select a bid strategy directly not recommended. Then click on manual CPC. And then you click on, yeah, you can also click on this as well, but you can only, so this is enhanced CPC. You can only have this once you have conversion tracking set up. But if you want to do manual, I'll always start with manual before converting to enhanced CPC anyway. And then we save. Okay. Now, the thing is, this is a bit more work. If you don't want to do this, but you want something similar to it, you can just go on maximize clicks. And then you want to set like a maximum amount you want to bid for that click. Okay. Now, what you can then do is if we find keywords again. Keywords. Okay, I might need to refresh this. Because I'll show you how yeah. So now we can set our bid. Okay. I think if I set this, it's going to tell me it's, I need to verify the, okay, let's see. So let's say I want to, okay, perfect. Now, if you want to do this, obviously the question you're going to ask is how do I know how much to bid? Okay, which is a good question. So we'll go to Keyword Planner. You should do this before, so type in Keyword Planner before you set up the campaign. Okay, so let's see. Let's do the US. Obviously, target the location that you want. Move the UK. Move this. So this is what it's saying. The top of the range, you're looking at £17 per click, up to £55 per click. Now, I normally like to skew to the lower end, and sometimes I even go below this page estimate, especially if the demand is really, really high. If you have a bit of history behind your account, you'll actually know Google will give you the exact amount of searches. Let's say this is like, let's say we've got a 10K search here. Because there's so much volume, sometimes I'll actually go below this bid. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. If the volume isn't crazy, I will go a little bit above this, okay? Because we want to get clicks, but we don't want to overpay for a click, right? So this is looking at around £17, which is what, $20, something like that. Okay, so let's go back to campaign. So that gives you an idea of how much you should be paying for a click for that particular keyword. Let's see. So let's change this to 17. And obviously, if you notice that you're not getting any clicks, you're getting impressions but no clicks, you can just increase the bid as well, incrementally. All right? So that's that. Anything else I'd recommend? Obviously, when you start your campaign, you want to start off with a bunch of negative keywords. So keywords that you don't want to show up for, we can kind of touch on that on a separate video. Now, another thing I would like to show you here is if you go to assets, click on assets. I wonder if you can do this on this version. Yeah, so you go to assets, you click on more, you click on account level automated assets, and then you click on more again, enhance settings. Now the thing is, Google, for whatever reason, they they love having control over like everything. Okay, if they could do it, they would basically do everything for you, which they pretty much can actually, but I don't really so much like that. So dynamic site links, so Google can basically make site links at any point if it feels like it's necessary. So we have this off. What reason, other reason, NA, doesn't really matter. So we have this off, dynamic callouts, we have this off. Other reason, save. So we pretty much have all of these off. So this off, this one off, this off, this sometimes on. So if you're connected to, I believe, your like Google profile, it can also show your rating. This off. So pretty much everything off. Longer headlines, possibly on, but we have it off as well, to be honest with you. So yeah, we have all these off apart from the seller ratings. Okay. All right, so that's that. Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything else that's relevant. If you have any questions, just let me know. But yeah, hope you found this helpful. All right, thank you.